From the pages of Sports Review Wrestling, February 1982, we're dropped into a world at war. Not just the kind of war fought between babyfaces and heels, but an emotional, generational, philosophical battle between tradition and revolution. This issue isn't just filled with matches and profiles, it's brimming with legacies being tested, champions being questioned, and fans drawing lines in the sand. It opens with a dramatic recounting of Bob Backlund nearly losing the WWF title to Greg Valentine in New York City. The match was chaos, limbs flailing, referees getting knocked down, and the title being held in limbo due to a controversial pin. As of press time, the title is still vacant pending a rematch. Valentine had Backlund up in an airplane spin that sent the referee sprawling. When the bell rang, it was pure confusion. The first man the dazed referee touched, Valentine, was announced as the winner, but upon review, officials withheld the belt. It's drama, it's scandal, and it sets the tone for the entire magazine. From there, we get an explosive feature on Sergeant Slaughter, newly crowned U.S. champion, and not shy about how he feels. Declaring war on panty-waist dog faces, Slaughter promises to instill discipline into his opponents, whether they want it or not. His rise to the title came from a brutal tournament where he beat Johnny Weaver, Jay Youngblood, and finally Ricky Steamboat, who was nursing a leg injury. Slaughter scoffs at the idea that the injury affected the outcome. He calls Steamboat lazy. This controversial run earns him Wrestler of the Month honors, though even the editors seem conflicted about that choice. That debate flows right into the fan forum, where readers are asked what they think about Ric Flair as the new NWA World Champion. The responses are divisive. Some fans adore Flair, calling him sexy, elegant, the best ever. Others rip him to shreds, calling him a disgrace, a rule breaker, a weak imitation of past champions. But one thing's clear, Flair moves the needle. Love him or hate him, he's not being ignored. Then we enter the heart of the issue. Are we expecting too much from Bruno Sammartino Jr.? The answer is complicated. A long-form feature tracks the rise of Bruno Jr., son of the living legend, and how he's chosen to dive into the main event scene too early, taking on veterans like Ray Stevens before he's ready. Bruno Jr. insists he's no rookie, that his name demands excellence. But friends like Kevin Von Erich warn him, rushing to the top too fast could burn him out before he ever gets there. We then get a visually packed spread, the match we made but now regret, featuring Carlos Colon and El Gran Apollo against the brutal Kiwi Sheepherders. This wasn't just a tag match, it was an editorial experiment gone wrong. The magazine's staff, wanting to test Apollo's limits, arranged the bout and watched in horror as the Kiwis mauled both men with illegal moves and unrelenting brutality. Apollo held his own, but it was a beating. Colon was choked, Apollo was stomped. The match was called off via disqualification, and the editors vowed never again to book a match themselves. A heartfelt open letter is published next. Memo to Jerry Briscoe, only you can save the NWA. It's not just fan service, it's a genuine editorial plea. With Ric Flair now the face of the promotion, the magazine turns to junior heavyweight champion Jerry Briscoe, begging him to restore honor, integrity, and respect to the alliance. They call Flair's title reign a disgrace, filled with brawling and cheating. But Briscoe, the technical master, is held up as the last hope for tradition. It's dramatic, it's emotional, it's old school versus new school in the most literal way. We travel south to Mexico City for a one-on-one with the legendary Mil Mascaras, training at high altitude and reflecting on why major titles continue to elude him. Mil speaks with wisdom and patience. He doesn't blame politics, he blames technicalities, countouts, disqualifications. He refuses to cheat, he refuses to compromise, and he says one day the belt will come to him. A quiet and powerful moment in the issue. But just when things settle, the magazine flips the tone again with a wild and unexpected apartment wrestling story featuring Nana, a gentle, helpful woman who snaps, joins the underground apartment circuit, and unleashes pent-up rage on her opponent Fiona. What begins as a psychological escape from burnout becomes a violent awakening. The piece is gritty, weird, and strangely poetic. Then comes a surprise, Jose Lothario's open apology letter to the fans. After snapping during a match with Brute Bernard, Jose grabbed a broom and went berserk outside the ring. He writes to admit his shame, to own his mistake, and to reaffirm his belief in wrestling's code. The letter is moving, and yet, when Bernard is interviewed, he simply promises to break every bone in Lothario's body next time. Class and savagery, side by side. The issue also includes a stacked wrestling ratings roundup. WWF, the title is vacant, but Bob Backlund sits at number 1, followed by Greg Valentine, Morocco, Mil Mascaras, and Tony Atlas. NWA, Ric Flair's champion with Tommy Rich, Silent Slaughter, and Ivan Koloff hot on his heels. AWA, Nick Bockwinkel reigns, with Hulk Hogan at number 1 contender status. Tag teams are ranked too. Mr. Fuji and Mr. Saito top the list, followed by the Andersons, the Briscoes, and Gain and Brunzel. The most popular wrestlers are Andre the Giant, Dusty Rhodes, Bob Backlund, and Mil Mascaras. And the most hated, Greg Valentine, Silent Slaughter, Ken Patera, and Roddy Piper lead that dark parade. The issue ends with vintage ads that are a time capsule of 1982. Back issues of Wrestling Illustrated for just $2. Boxing Illustrated Wrestling News reprints from 1959 to 1964. A bizarre height-increasing vitamin kit from Dr. A.S., and collector exclusive photo packets featuring Mil Mascaras, Andre, Graham, Backlund, and more. So if you remember a time when Ric Flair was a fresh-faced villain, when Bruno Sammartino Jr. was an unproven hopeful, and when wrestling magazines weren't afraid to shape the narrative, this issue is for you. Like, share, and subscribe. Because every day we honor the legends, expose the scandals, and relive the intensity from the pages.